Mic check, mic check. Shalom to the family online. We're about to get started in about 5 minutes. Happy Purim to everybody. Happy Purim to everybody. We're gonna get started in 5 minutes. Shalom, family online. Shalom, shalom. 5 minutes. Happy Purim. Happy Purim. Right, y'all. Khan. All right. All right. All right. Real quick announcement. We're gonna go ahead and get started. Let me go ahead and put this on pause. All right. Real quick announcement. So today we're gonna get and have pizza and wings. All right. So if we can, everybody, if we can have collectively everybody send $15 or $20 to the BOW Cash App so we can go and buy food for everybody. All right. So if everybody can send 15 or $20 to the Cash App so we can buy food for everybody, we're going to get pizza and wings. All right, Khan? Everybody understand that? All right. So we want to make sure, huh? Whatever you want to get, you can get. We just need to get the cash. If you want breadsticks, whatever, it's, whoever's ordering, Lob, there you go. Lob is going to take care of the food tonight. So whatever, anybody wants some special orders, you can give a little extra, or you can go with them and get it. However you want to do. Tonight, it's not a Sabbath, so we can buy, you could spend, do what you got to do. So just make sure everybody's send $15 or $20 to the BOW Cash App. Con? All right, Con. All right, let's go ahead and send up the prayers. We got everybody online. We got the online family. Go ahead, send up those prayers and get class started so we don't keep everybody waiting. All right, so we're going to have everybody join in to the prayer. Dawadi Yahweh, Dawadi Yahweh Shai. Thank you, Yahweh. Thank you, Yahweh Shai, for allowing us to gather here together in the spirit of unity, the spirit of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, in the spirit of Mordecai, the spirit of Esther, the spirit of Purim. Lord, we want to say thank you for giving us safe travel and mercy. Watch over those that may be traveling that are not here at this time. Give them safe travel and grace as they make it to their way to the celebration of your beautiful memorial. Lord, we give you all the praise and the honor and the glory. And we say, forgive us of our sins and the sins of our forefathers. In your son, Amashiach's name, Mashiach Yahweh Shai, whom the world ignorantly knows as Jesus Christ, we pray and we say, Thawada, thank you for everything that you've allowed us to have and to see another Purim. In your son's name, we humbly pray. We say, Amen. Abanawa, Shabbat, Shemayim, Quadash, Aya, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakwithka, Taba'a, Ratazayaka, Aya, Aisha, Barataza, Kawa, Aya, Bashemayim, Nathananawa, Lakam, Zayawam, Wasalaknawa, Kabawafnawa, Kasalaknawa, Kabawathanawa, Wala'a, Dabayanawa, Banasaiwan, Abor, Hawashinawa, Mun, Ra, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwath, Wala Allah, Ra, Parath, Ayalamya, the Wadi Hawa, the Wadi Hawa Shai.
Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
Yeah, so they can hear you online. All praises. We back. All praises. We're back with another one, another beautiful class, another Purim. Clap it up for another year of Purim. All praises. It's a joyous feast. We're gonna have a good night tonight. It's you know what, Purim's actually becoming one of my favorite memorials of the Most High. You know, one of my favorite feasts of the Most High is actually starting to become that, you know, because as you start to really get into the story and see the significance of the story and how we even got Purim, it's just a beautiful story altogether. You know, it is a beautiful story altogether, you know, dealing with the Most High saving Israel from their enemies and just the beautiful spirit that Mordecai was able to have and Esther was able to have. By show of hands, whose first Purim is this? Raise your hand. Okay, give it up for the sister Barbara. Okay. The Shah's wife back there. Okay, everybody first. So it's only you two sisters. Oh, okay. Give it up for the sisters, man. All praises. Got 3 sisters. And that's it. So all the other brothers pretty much celebrated Purim. Everybody, all right, all praises. So it's a beautiful feast. So have you guys ever heard of the story of Esther? You had heard the story of Esther before? Okay. Esther is a beautiful sister. Let's get right into it, man. Let's go to Esther chapter 1. Esther chapter 1, and let's start at verse 1. We got a lot of reading to cover today. All right.
It's the book of Esther, chapter 1 and verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Now it came to pass in the days of Ahasuerus. This is Ahasuerus which reigned from India even unto Ethiopia, over 107 provinces.
All right, so Ahasuerus, all right, he was the king at this time, okay, and he was ruling, all right, and he reigned from India all the way into Ethiopia, okay, and he had over 107 provinces, and so he was a great king. Keep reading.
That in those days, when the king Ahasuerus sat on the throne of his kingdom, which was in Shushan, the palace, in the 3rd year of his reign, he made a feast unto all his princes and his servants, the power of Persia and Media.
All right, so he was the king and he reigned in Persia and Media. Okay, he was a king of the Persians and Medes. Look at my bag. It's in my bag. Just take my bag. It's in there. Just take the whole thing. All right, so he ruled over the Persians and the Mede Empire. Okay, read.
The nobles and princes of the provinces being before him, when he showed the riches of his glorious kingdom, and the honor of his excellent majesty, many days, even 180 days.
Read.
And when these days were expired, the king made a feast unto all the people.
Okay, so the king will have these glorious feasts. All right, he will have these glorious feasts set up, right? Similar to like what we're going to do tonight. He had these nice feasts set up, right? Read.
Made a feast unto all the people that were present in Shushan, the palace, both unto great and small, 7 days, in the court of the garden of the king's palace, were white, green, and blue hangings.
Okay, so he had it decorated nice. All right. Anytime you have a party, you want to make sure you have it decorated nice, decked out, right? Had all the people there, all the nobles there, right? Everybody was there. Go down and read verse 8.
Verse 8. And drinking was according to the law. None did compel. But the king had appointed to all the officers of his house that they should do according to every man's pleasure.
All right. And then at this time, guess what? They was drinking. All right. Can't have a party without yan, right? Can you have a party without yan? I mean, you can, but it's not the same. You understand? It's not the same when you got some nice wine. I know Shaquat like that kosher wine. You got the brothers that might like the cognac. You know, I know Tahar, you like what that Jack Daniels? Remy Martin's your thing, right? Right. You got the wine drinkers, you got the cognac drinkers, and you got Lob, the tequila drinkers. You understand? Where Lob at? He probably left already, right? tequila drinkers. Whatever you need, from the light to the strong, we got it. That's how the king was. I can't forget Sister Hadessa. She got her crown royal. You understand? She bought a big bottle back there too. She said, I got enough for everybody tonight. All right, all praises. So, you know, we this is what we like to do, right? When you party, and that's all nations across the board. And this is what the king was doing, had that good drink there. He said every man should be pleasurable. So every man should be happy even tonight, right? When you have a celebration and a party, you want everybody to be happy, right? So watch this. Read verse 9.
Verse 9. Also Vashti, the queen, made a feast for the women in the royal house, which belonged to King Ahasuerus.
All right. And so the queen at this time, which is Vashti, she had her sisters, right? They was getting together as well. So you got the king and his noblemen, and you had the queen and her sisters, and they getting together. They partying too. Read.
On the 7th day, when the heart of the king was merry with wine, he commanded Mehuman, Bista, Hebona, Mikta, Abatha, Zethar, Carcass, and 7 chamberlains that served in the presence of Ahasuerus the king.
See, so Ahasuerus, he was off that good wine. It says when his heart was made merry with wine. All right, he was happy. You know when a man drink, and he's happy, in a good spirit. That's how he was. He was happy. And let's see what happened. Read.
To bring Vashti the queen before the king with the crown royal.
So when men are happy, typically, and I know we did this a while back, and I explained this to sisters. When men are happy, typically, and they love their wives, what do they want? They want their woman to be in their presence. So the king was drinking. He feeling good. That good wine in his system. He like, hey man, go get my wife, man. Tell the queen to come here. I need her to come here. You understand? You know how men are, show fine self. Get over here, right? That's what he was doing. He drinking. He wanted to see his wife. Nothing wrong with that, is it? Oh. And what happened? Read.
To show the people and the princess her beauty.
And that's what he wanted to do. He said, I want to show y'all her beauty. That's all I'm calling her for. I want to show her beauty. So she was a pretty woman. So he was drinking. He was fine. He was having a good time. He was like, look, man, tell my wife to come. I want to because that's how men are. When we love our women, what we want to do? Show them off. You understand? It's not, I'm gonna tell y'all ladies, it's really not hard to please a man. All you gotta do is be what I tell Kia, what's the 3 F's? Where Kia at? Where Baraj? She ain't in here. What's the 3 F's? If she was in here, I would have quizzed her. Who know the 3 F's? Y'all ain't watching Kevin Samuel videos, huh? Fun, fit, and friendly. Fun, fit, and friendly. That's the 3 F's. What man don't want a woman like that? You know the funny thing about sisters in the world, when they say when they talk about what men want, they be like, yeah, men like a challenge. What man y'all dating? I don't want no challenge. I want fun, fit, and friendly. I don't want you challenging me. I want you to be fun. When you come around me, you got cheer. You ain't just sad and moping, right? You ain't just depressed all the time. No, when I got my wife around me, or you got your wife around you, and you want her to be happy, cheerful. You want her to be in shape, right? Want her to look nice, have a nice figure. And you want her to be friendly, meaning meekness, right? And the funny thing about it is, those things, all those 3 categories are in the scriptures. It's a fact. It's in the scriptures. And sisters, for the women class, that's what we're gonna be learning. But it's what the king said. He said, I want to show my wife off, right? Read it again.
And the princess her beauty, for she was fair to look on.
Read verse 12.
But the Queen Vashti refused to come at the king's commandment.
Was Vashti, was she fun, fit, and friendly? She said, what's it say his name? Ahasuerus, right? I don't feel like talking to you right now. Just leave me alone. Right now, I just don't feel like being bothered. I don't want to be the king all happy. He want his girl to be with him. She like, I don't feel like being bothered. Watch this. She declined the king's offer. Right? Watch this. Read.
By his chamberlains. Therefore was the king very wroth.
The king was upset at that. Right? Read.
And his anger burned in him. Then the king said to the wise men, which knew the times, for so was the king's manner towards all that knew the law and judgment.
Now, Why is that a serious thing? Let's don't look on the surface of what's happening in this narrative. Why is that a serious thing for her to deny the king's request? Right? So if she denies, where's the other mic at? Oh, there it is, right here. Here, I'll turn it on. Oh, I might, yeah. I want to ask the people a question. Why is that? Okay, because he was the king, but why is it? We know he's the king, and it's important for you to listen to the king. But why is it serious for her to deny his request for him in his position?
It was a command.
Yeah. Well, okay, let's put it like this. You're right. If I'm a captain of the church, right? And I instruct men, right? I have a whole bunch of men that I'm leading, right? And they obey my every command. But then I tell my wife to come here and she say no.
Yeah, that's embarrassment. That's
what them brothers gonna
dishonorable.
do? How he the king? He can't even control his woman. So the king, he got a catch-22 going on. If he let that slide, what's gonna happen? Oh, you want to say something, sis? Go ahead.
It weakens him in front of everyone that's under him if he can't control his own wife, or if she doesn't respect him.
Exactly. And if your woman doesn't respect you, you think any of the brothers gonna respect you? Not at all. They won't respect you. So when she denied, the king, like, we got a problem here. The king, watch this. The king had to call his wise men. The king was like, I need to know what to do with what just happened. I literally called her and she disrespected my call. I need to see what we need to do and how we should counsel this matter. Let's see what the king said. Read.
Verse 14.
And
next unto him was Karshina, Shethar, Amatha, Tarshish.
Read verse 15.
Verse 15. Yeah. What shall we do unto the Queen Vashti according to the law? Because she had not performed the commandment of the king Ahasuerus by the chamberlains. And Memucan answered before the king and the princes. Vashti the queen have not done wrong to the king only.
Now watch this. He said Vashti has not done wrong to the king only. Meaning, have you ever had, your woman, you loved her, maybe a woman you used to date back in the world, and she just was super disrespectful? And normally that disrespectful tone is going to pass off to who? The other women. So guess what? If the queen ain't got to listen to the king, what makes you think that the captain's wives got to listen to the captains? See that? And why is that an issue? Because remember, Vashti had the women that were with her. She was ahead of the sister. She had them, remember, for their banquet, she was there. So if she like, yeah, I just told the king I ain't coming, what you think the other sisters gonna do? They're gonna do the same thing. Liberation. Disrespect of the men of the kingdom. Let's see how the king handled that. He said, look, she has not only disrespected me and disregarded me, but she's done what? Read.
But also to all the princes, and to all the people that are in all the provinces of the king Ahasuerus.
Ahasuerus said, not only did she disrespect me, but she also disrespected all of the men that are in our province. Because if we don't correct this now, we're going to have an influx of disrespect in the households. Right? Similar to, got you. You got that mic? Oh, it's lagging? Oh, it's okay. It's all right. It's just matter of fact, I don't need it right now. I'll connect when I need it. Okay, mic check. Everybody that's online, am I lagging, or can you guys put ones in the chat if there's a lag? If I'm lagging, make sure that I'm not lagging. Put ones in the chat if I'm lagging. All right. So I want to make sure everybody sees it. All right. So read verse 11 again from the top. I mean, read verse what was that? 15? 16 again from the top.
Verse 16. And Memucan answered before the king and the princes, Vashti the queen have not done wrong to the king only, but also to the princes and to all the people that are in all the provinces of the king Ahasuerus.
So he said, look, she has not done wrong to the king only, but she has done wrong to all of the males in all of the province. Right? Read.
For this deed of the queen shall come abroad into all women, so that they shall despise their husbands in their eyes. When it shall be reported the king Ahasuerus commanded Vashti the queen to be brought before him, but she came not.
You see that? So he says, look, now let me ask y'all this. According to this narrative in the book of Esther, do men like a challenge? Did the king like the challenge? My man like when he gotta control me. I don't know what man you dealing with. You know what? He probably simping, or he probably don't have the gut. And you know what's so funny? It's a catch-22, and this is the backward society that Esau is creating with our brothers and our sisters. Our women say their man like a challenge, or they want their men want a challenge, but then when they challenge the man and the man is a pushover, they say we don't want that man. But if the man arrives to that challenge, then he's headstrong. I mean, he's overbearing, or he's toxic. You see the backwards? It's like our sisters in this society, which Vashti had to learn the hard way. They want a man, but then they don't want a man. It's like they want a man, but then a man doesn't allow his woman to talk to him anyway. Right? The king, you can learn. This story has many layers. That's why I entitled this story Mordecai's Day and the beauty of Esther. Because we're going to talk about Mordecai, but we also going to talk about the beauty of Esther and the morals of virtue that she had, that the Most High used to save the nation of Israel. You understand? So the king said, I got to put out this commandment. Watch this. Read.
Verse 18.
Uh-huh.
Likewise shall all the ladies of Persia and Media say this day unto all the king's princes, which have heard of the deed of the queen. Thus shall there arise too much contempt and wrath.
You see that? Because if you don't have order in your household, what do you have in your household? Chaos. And if you got chaos in the household, what do you have in your nation? Chaos. Look at America. Look at America. Do marriages even exist anymore in America? I mean, when brothers be in the world like, yeah, I'm getting married, I'd be like, for what? You're going to just be divorced in a couple years? What's the statistics on marriage and ending in divorce in America? What's the statistic? Can somebody Google that? What's the statistic of that? What's the percentage of that? What's the percentage of divorce in America? Let's look that up. I want to get that statistic. Marriage is a lost art. You know what marriage is now? Marriage is superficial. It's just done for TV and sightings and for people to praise. And then after that's done, the real life of marriage, that nobody wants to deal with that. That's why they divorce. I want the ring. I want the dress. You got it? Con, get the mic to the mono. I want the ring. I want the dress. I want the ceremony. I want the praise. I want the honeymoon. I want all of that. But guess what? When the lights go off, we go to sleep, we wake up the next couple years, I don't want to deal with what I have to deal with in terms of the actual marriage and working in the marriage and building it. And then that leads to broken homes, which leads to what? Chaos in your nation. Why do you think the white man targeted the families of our people? He targeted the families because if he knows, if he can break the families, look at that. Just get on Clubhouse or social media. You're going to just see our people fighting. Men and women fighting. They can't even get it together. Sometimes I'll be on social media. I'll be like, this generation is lost. Y'all seen what they just did to, what's that dude name? That's in that movie Creed. What's his name? Michael B. Jordan. Y'all seen that post? A woman posted. She said, I got to get that post. I'm going to get that post. Read that what you got. Yeah, read that. Read what you got.
First marriages is 40 to 50% always end in divorce.
40 to 50%.
First marriages, like people first time being married.
Yes.
And then second time you're being married is 60 to 67%.
60 to 67% of marriages end in divorce. Are you kidding me? Is America failing? Because if 70% of marriages end in divorce, what does that mean with the family? That means 70% of families are broken, which means single parent homes. Meaning the kids don't have a mama and daddy in the house. You understand? It was a post, a quote. about Michael B. Jordan. A sister said that Michael B. Jordan is too he just seems like he's too good of a guy. Yeah, I gotta find that quote. Somebody, it was on Facebook when I had seen it. But yeah, she said Michael B. Jordan is too it's trending right now. But this is not to my sisters in here because the Israelite sisters is beautiful. But I gotta use this term. That modern woman term is real. Hold on. All men are dogs, no good men. But then when you see a good man, he's too good of a man. What do you want? Do you want a good man or do you not want a good man? She don't know what she wants because she's confused. She said Michael B. Jordan looked like the type of guy that knows where his birth certificate is. That's by show of hands, brothers. How many of you guys know where your birth certificate is? So I guess by the modern women standards, all y'all squares. Clap it up for being a square. Oh, praises. He said Michael B. Jordan was a lame because he knew where his birth certificate is. I'll be damned. And then you wonder why the men of our community is growing up the way they growing up because they being raised by these type women. I mean, I'm just calling it a buck. They'll rather have them. Y'all remember that little boy that was sagging his pants and he was like, I'm grown. Remember that little light-skinned boy a long time ago? He's like, I'm grown. He got a little holding the water like he got it to drink. That's the type of man. Now imagine when it's cute right now, but wait till he get 6 foot tall. And wait till that's not water in the bottle. Wait till that's drink in the bottle. See that? So Ahasuerus, he understood this. So what did he put in place? Read.
Verse 19.
Uh-huh.
If it please the king, let there go a royal commandment from him, and let there be written among the laws of the Persians and the Medes, that it be not altered, that Vashti come no more before King Ahasuerus, and let the king give her royal state unto another that is better than she.
You see that? You know that song that Beyonce wrote? Don't you ever irreplaceable to the left? That one? What's that? Y'all know I don't know. Hey man, I got a cool voice though. I do. Y'all just I just cracked a little bit. Don't worry. But irreplaceable. To the left, that one. Everything you own to the box to the left. You know, back in the day, that was the other way around. Men were telling women to the left. Now this is a new society. Scripture says it's a new thing. A woman shall compass a man. Brothers, I'm going to tell y'all this right now. The next generation of men in here, the next generation of kings, they shouldn't be in a position to where their woman is kicking them out their house. I mean, out her house. They should be kicking her out their house. Every young boy in here, you know, for the next generation should be taught to have your own. You understand? He needs to have his own house. He needs to have, before my son is able to get married, you got to be able to provide for yourself. You can't get married and think that the woman is going to provide everything for you, because when that happens, what happens in the marriage? She don't respect that brother. She don't respect that brother. Can you imagine if it was the other way around and Vashti owned everything? How could the king put her in check? He couldn't, because she owned everything. But the king was like, nah, she's going to get kicked out. And I'm going to give her estate to another woman. Let's see what happened. Read.
Verse 20. And when the king's decree, which he shall make, shall be published throughout all his empire, for it is great, all the wives shall give to their husbands honor, both to great and small.
Watch this. He put out a decree, not only in his household, he put out a decree to the entire nation, that the sisters in that entire nation will respect the men in their household. It was a law. It was a decree. Put it as a decree. All right, watch this. Read.
And the saying pleased the king and the princes And the king did according to the word of Memucan. For he sent letters into all the king's provinces, and to every province according to the writing thereof.
All right, so he made this a decree. Go from there. Go to chapter 2 and read verse 1.
Chapter 2 and verse 1. After these things, when the wrath of King Ahasuerus was appeased, he remembered Vashti and what she had done, and that there were decreed and what was decreed against her.
Read.
Then said the king's servant that ministered unto him, let there be fair young virgins sought for the king.
Now, this is why this story has many different layers to it. Sisters, this story right here, it will teach you how to be a woman that your man loves. And also, brothers, this story right here will teach you how to be a man of honor. Mordecai teaches the brothers how to be men of honor. And Esther teaches our sisters how to be women of virtue. This is a beautiful story. This story has layers. This is just not a story of us being delivered from our enemies. This is a story about good morality on the man's side, which we're going to talk about Mordecai, and on the sister side. So guess what, sisters? Everything that is Esther, you're learning in the book of Esther is this. Your man, he loves a fun, fit, friendly woman. So Mordecai is like, look, I'm going to go get a new woman, a young virgin. So did Mordecai say, don't worry, I'm not judging her on her body count? No. He said, I'm going to get a young virgin. Now, that's no disrespect to nobody in here because we all got passed. But for the modern women, they say men should accept their high body count. I slept with 20 men, and my husband going to accept that. Not a righteous man. How many brothers want that? Maybe if it was repented and you changed your life, but if you just what they call it, slut shaming, where now you can't even tell a woman, hey, look, man, I don't want a woman that's kind of been out there like that, going to strip clubs and all of that and partying all of that. I don't want a woman that's doing that. You know, you get bashed for that today, brothers. You get bashed for saying that. But guess what? Esther knew, and the king knew. He said, look, I want a woman that doesn't have high mileage. I don't want that. I want a young woman that is pure. That's what I want. Go out there. It's a decree. I need to get her. And I'm going to find and I'm going to search the land to find her to replace Vashti. Watch this. Read.
And let the king appoint officers in all the provinces of the kingdom, that they may gather together all the fair virgins to Shushan, the palace, to the house of the woman, and to the custody of Haggai, the king's chamberlain, keeper of the women, and let their things for purification be given them.
Read.
And let the maiden which pleased the king be queen instead of Vashti, and the thing pleased the king as he did so.
Okay, so now he's like, I'm gonna find a new wife. And somebody said Mordecai was married to Esther. You ancient heart, you don't know what you're talking about. But that's why this class is for you, so you can get it understood. That was her uncle, brother or sister. I don't know who that was, but yeah. Continue.
Now in Shushan, the palace, there was a certain Jew whose name was Mordecai, the son of Jair, the son of Shimei, the son of Kish, a Benjamite, who had been carried away from Jerusalem with the captivity, which had been carried away with Jeconiah, king of Judah, who Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, had carried away.
All right, so now you got Mordecai. So Mordecai, he gets wind of this. He's like, okay, the queen, she was tripping. The king kicked her out. And now the king is looking for another wife. Right? Let's see what Mordecai did. Read.
And he brought up Hadassah, that is Esther, his uncle's daughter, for she had neither father nor mother, and the maid was fair and beautiful, whom Mordecai, when her father and mother were dead, took for his own daughter.
So Mordecai was like, look, this is my niece, and I'm going to take her as my own daughter. I'm raising her. But Mordecai was like this. When he heard that the king needed a new wife, he said, ding, Esther. He said, hey, look, come here. Let me holler at you. Now, did she say, I don't want to do this, Mordecai? I should have a choice, Mordecai. We got to bring back father figures being involved in marriage choices. This is not just like my daughters. No matter how sexist or what it sounds, it's the truth. They can't just go out and bring a man and say, this is the man I want to be with. No, he has to be approved. Facts. And if she don't want me to approve her husband, then she can go out there, do whatever she want. But when she get burned, don't come back to me. Don't, Dad, I'm so, no. You wanted to do that? Guess what? If you would have listened to your daddy, that wouldn't have happened to you. That's how you break generational curses. That's what Mordecai and Esther understood. Did Esther say, well, actually, Uncle Mordecai, I actually like somebody else. I don't want to go and try to pursue the king. What? Let's see what she said. Read. This is called order. Read.
Verse 8. So it came to pass when the king's commandment and his decree was heard, and when many maidens were gathered together unto Shushan the palace, to the custody of Haggai, that Esther was brought also unto the king's house.
Read.
To the custody of Haggai, keeper of the woman. And the maiden.
So she went. Mordecai was like, look, you need to go and see if the king would choose you. She went, and guess what? Not only was she beautiful, but her excellency of character is what he fell in love with. We're going to see this. So what are we seeing here? This whole story of Esther kills the whole modern world narrative of what marriage is, how marriages should be conducted, and what respect looks like in the household. In the household, the man is supposed to have the highest rank of respect, from his wife down to his daughters. All right. The man has the say so on who his daughters marry. The man has the say so. The man has the power in everything that goes on in his household. And that's what's being shown here. So Mordecai was like, look, go do what you got to do. And what happened? Read.
And the maiden pleased him, and she obtained kindness of him, and he speedily gave her things for purification, with such things as belonged to her, and 7 maidens which were meet to be given her out of the king's house. And he preferred her and her maids unto the best palace of the house of the women.
So now, what does this mean for Mordecai now? Huh? If that's Mordecai's niece, and now she's made the queen, where does that leave Mordecai? Yes, because guess what, brothers? You raise your daughters because your daughters are of value to you. Guess what, brothers? Your daughters could bring fortune to you. How? We're not just talking about dowries. We're talking about if you raise your daughter to be a virtuous woman, and guess what? A man that's well off sees that, he's going to want to be with your daughter, and he takes your daughter and put her in a high-ranking position. What does that do for you? That puts you in a high-ranking position because now your families are aligned. So Mordecai understood this. Mordecai understood, like, look, you're going to go do this for a greater purpose, because another thing Mordecai understood was they were in what? Captivity. So what's a way that he can move up in the ranks so that he can have influence over the affairs of his people? Right? That's what he did. Watch this. Read.
Verse 10. Esther had not showed her people nor her kindred, for Mordecai had changed her, so like had charged her that she should not show it.
So she didn't tell him that she was a Jew. Right? Read.
And Mordecai walked every day before the court of the woman's house to know how Esther did and what should become of her. Now, when every maid's turn was come to go into the king of Ahasuerus, after she had been 12 months, according to the manner of women, for so were the days of their purification accomplished, to wit, 6 months with oil of myrrh.
Read verse 13.
Verse 13. Then thus came every maiden unto the king, whatsoever she desired was given her, to go with her out of the house of the women unto the king's house.
You see that? So the king said, look, once he picked Esther, he said, look, I want you to leave, and you're going to come to my house, and I'm going to give you everything you want. Everything you desire, I'm going to give it to you. You got that. You got that. And that's what the king's commandment was. Mordecai is also smart, because Mordecai understands this is a play. I need this to work. So guess what? I'm going to have influence. And that influence led to saving the nation of Israel. And this is why we have Purim today. Watch this. Read.
Verse 14. In the evening she went, and on the morrow she returned into the second house of the women, to the custody of Shashgaz, the king's chamberlain, which kept the concubines. She came in unto the king no more, except the king delighted in her, and that she were called by name.
So the king had it to where he picked her to be his wife, and whenever the king wanted, you couldn't just walk up to the king. It wasn't like you could just walk up to the king. You could just go see the king whenever you wanted. When the king called you, that's when you got to see the king. And that was for everybody. That was for his wife. That was for his princess. You only could see the king if you were called in by the king. But the king put her in a nice area, in a nice palace area. Put her up, set her up nice. Had her setting up nice, right? Watch this. Read.
Now, when the turn of Esther, the daughter of Abigail, the
Uh-huh.
uncle of Mordecai, who had taken her for his daughter, was
Uh-huh.
come to go into the king, she required nothing. But what Haggai, the king's chamberlain, the keeper of the women, appointed, and Esther obtained favor in the sight of all them that looked upon her.
So she was beautiful, right? Read.
So Esther was taken into King Ahasuerus into the house royal in the 10th month, which is the month of Tebeth,
Mm-hmm.
and the 7th year of his reign.
Read verse 17.
And the king loved Esther above all the women,
Mhm.
and she obtained grace and favor in his sight more than all the virgins, so that he set the royal crown upon her head and made her queen instead of Vashti.
Because one thing that men like, sisters, men like us, a humble, submissive woman. So he favored her above all the women in the land. Put the queen, put the crown on her and all that. You talking about a ring? He put a crown on her head because he favored her above all the women of the city, all the virgins of the city. He favored her more and made her have a high ranking status. All right, and this was all because of her virtue. Her nice daintiness, right? That men like. Man, you like rough women or you like soft women? How many of you love rough women, brothers? How many of you love soft women? Yeah. How many of y'all want to box with your woman? Nah, man, we like softness. That's the yin to the yang, right? The opposites attract. That's the positive and the negative. Brothers don't want a man, brothers want a woman. And women want a man. So we complement each other. The man is the masculine presence, the woman is the feminine presence. And this is what happened with Esther. And she understood that. And the king loved her for that. So guess what? Is she gonna go out like Vashti did? Nope, she ain't gonna do that. The king called her, she gonna go to him. Watch how she even speaks to the king, right? All of this was done in beauty. This is what real beauty is. The scripture says there's nothing so much better than the mind well instructed in terms of a marriage. Men love women that have minds well instructed. All right. So go from there. What verse was that?
We left off on 17.
Read verse 18.
Verse 18.
Uh-huh.
Then the king made a great feast unto all the princes and his servants, even Esther's feast. And he made a release to the provinces and gave gifts according to the state of the king. And when the virgins were gathered together the second time, then Mordecai sat in the king's gate. Esther had not yet showed her kindred nor her people, as Mordecai had charged her.
Mhm.
For Esther did the commandment of Mordecai, like as when she was brought up with him.
All right. So Mordecai told her, don't tell him who you are. Don't tell him you're a Jew. Don't tell him none of that. But the king loved Esther so much that he gave her a whole feast. He gave her a whole feast. All right. So now let's go from there. Go to chapter 3 and read verse 1.
Esther chapter 3 and verse 1.
Uh-huh.
After these things did Ahasuerus promote Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite.
Now Haman, who was this? Who was Haman? He's an Agagite, right? Who's Agag? Does anybody know? Agag or Agag. Anybody know who that is? Agag is the kingly line of the Amalekites. All right. Remember when Saul was charged to kill Agag or Agag? He's the king of the Amalekites. The Agagites are the royal class of the Amalekites, which the Amalekites are the seed line of Esau. Everybody see that? One thing that you can also take from this particular story is you can also prove Alexander the Greek, or who they call Alexander the Great. You can also prove that he's an Edomite. Why? Because Alexander the Greek was from where? Macedonia. The Macedonians are the home of the who? The Edomites, because Haman was also a Macedonian. Get that real quick. I want to show y'all that. Go to Esther 16 and 10 in the Apocrypha. All right. This is in the Apocrypha. Esther 16. This is the rest of Esther in the Apocrypha 16 and 10.
It's the book of rest of Esther, chapter 16 and verse number 10.
Read.
For Haman the Macedonian.
Who's Haman?
For Haman,
Haman and Ammon, same person. This is the rest of Esther, right? Because parts of Esther was taken out. So it says Ammon, which is Haman, he's a what?
a Macedonian.
He's a Macedonian, but we also know he's a what? A Amalekite, because he comes from a god, right? Which is a Edomite, but he's a Macedonian. Now go to Maccabees chapter 1, verse 1. First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 1.
The book of First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 1.
Uh-huh.
And it happened that after Alexander, the son of Philip,
This is Alexander the Great, the son of Philip. Read.
the Macedonian,
The who?
the Macedonian,
So Haman was a Macedonian and Alexander the Great was a Macedonian. What race was Alexander the Great? Sorry, y'all, if y'all scared of them balloons, man. We ain't never blowing those again. What what race is Alexander the Great? He's an Edomite. He's a white man, but he was a Macedonian. But the Amalekites are also Macedonians, which come from the seed of Esau. So this is an Edomite, and the Edomites are what? They're always our main enemies. And in particular, this particular tribe of Esau is always our main enemies. When we were in the wilderness, what particular tribe of Esau did not want us to Amalek. When we was traveling and Moses and them was like, hey, can we travel through your city? What did Amalek say? No, go around. And then what did the Most High say? He told Saul, kill all of them. Kill all of them, because they did wrong by their brothers. That's why when they say, do not abhor an Edomite, don't abhor him, please. That's not talking about let him do whatever you want. No, that's talking about, okay, in our nation, we're not going to take his wife and rape his women and do all of that. No. But in terms of war and righteousness, oh no, he'd get killed. That's why the Most High told Saul, kill all of them. But did Saul do that? Nope. And that's why Saul was rejected. But now, fast forwarding it all the way to Esther, who is Mordecai and Esther about to have beef with? The Amalekites. The same people. And the cold thing about it is, we probably gonna have to do a lesson on that. Who are the modern day Amalekites today? The Jewish people. Ain't that crazy? And the Jewish people are the chief house of the Edomites. They the chief house. America fight whole wars for them. Billions a year, fight war, give them billions a year. Who running America? Jewish community. Kyrie can't even post a video. See that? It's the same enemy. But I'm just showing y'all that Amalekites were the most hated enemy of Israel in terms of Esau. The whole nation of Esau is our enemy, but the Amalekites. Go to Esther chapter 3 and read verse 1 again.
Book of Esther chapter 3 and verse 1.
Uh-huh.
After these things did King Ahasuerus promote Haman, the son of Ammedatha.
So
the Agagite.
Ahasuerus, he promoted Haman. He promoted Haman to be the top in his army or his commanding generals. Read.
And advanced him and set his seat above all the princes that were with him.
Uh-huh. So Haman was above all of the princes, like basically the council. The king put Haman in charge of all of that, right? Read.
And the king's servants that were in the king's gate bowed and reverenced Haman, for the king had so commanded concerning him.
And he commanded everybody to bow down to Haman. So when Haman walk in the room, guess what we got to do, brothers? We got to bow. Who gonna bow? That's easier said than done. Can you imagine if you don't bow? That's a death sentence to you and your whole family. Got to put it in perspective. But Haman was commanded by the king to be over all his princes, and everybody should bow. Read.
But Mordecai bowed not.
But who didn't bow? Mordecai was like, I ain't bowing to you. Please, I'm standing. Can you imagine? And you know how Esau is. Esau's very prideful. Esau very, very prideful. You can tell Esau prideful because if you guys work in management with Esau, because Esau's all in management, Esau's a prideful. You can't tell him nothing. He walked with his head up high, belittle you. Esau with money, belittle you, look down upon you, frown upon you. You're nothing. You're disposable. Even from like, you can see that in sports. Who was that? The with Skip Bayless. Remember the dude had the heart attack on the field? It's like, man, let the game go on. The man was about to die. Skip Bayless talking about, well, let the game. That's the white man for you. White man don't care about what's going on. You better be on time. If you late, you in trouble. I'm docking you. All that. White man is very prideful. You want to know the pridefulness of the white man? Just go drive to Beverly Hills. Just drive in Beverly Hills. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna give y'all a true story. I was doing some Uber one day, right? And I hate driving in Beverly Hills. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I hate driving in Beverly Hills. Like anytime the route takes me to Beverly Hills, I used to turn off the app to get away from Beverly Hills because I hate those Edomites. I'm telling y'all, I hate them. So look, Edomite get in the car, whatever. Cool. I'm polite, nice, kind. He get in the car. First thing is I had my music on, but I didn't have no ratchet music. I had some nice jazz music. You know, could you turn the music down, please? Okay, cool. All right. That I can already feel his energy. Okay, no worries. I'll turn it down. Boom. He gets on the phone. I'm driving. I accidentally made a wrong turn. I had accidentally made a wrong turn, so the app had rerouted me to get back on track. So when I accidentally made the wrong turn, he sits up, but this is how he does. He's on the phone. He's like, yeah. And then he out of nowhere he goes, hold on, where are we? So I was fit and left with two choices. A, cuss him out, or B, don't say nothing. So I just chose not to say nothing. And y'all know how I am with Edomites. So I didn't say nothing. He said, excuse me. This is how condescending the white man is. The white man that our people love so much. I don't know why they love this bastard so much. Because all of them are like this. I'm be honest. And even the nice ones are condescending to you. Wow, you're so smart. Huh? Have you ever had an Edomite tell y'all that? Like a white person when you was nice. Wow, you're just so smart. Why do you keep saying that? Do you go up to white people and say, you're so smart? They don't do that. Oh, but I guess the stigma is black people are dumb. So when they meet a smart one, oh, you're so smart. That's condescending. But you know, Uncle Tom and Uncle Tom Negroes, they love, oh, thank you. I am smart. Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm offended by that. What do you mean I'm so smart? What you talking about? I got to be dumb? But anyway, so true story. He said, don't you have navigation? You know I have navigation. But you being condescending. And that's how Esau is. And that's how Haman was with Mordecai. So when Mordecai didn't bow down, Haman was pissed. Watch what Haman said. Read.
But Mordecai bowed not, nor did reverence him. The king's servant, which were in the king's gate, said unto Mordecai, why transgressest thou the king's commandment?
Read.
Now it came to pass, when they spake daily unto him, and he hearkened not unto them, that they told Haman to see whether Mordecai his matters would stand. For he had told them that he was a Jew.
You know what? So people was like, look, they like, oh, why you not bowing down? And Mordecai like, I'm not bowing down. So when they told Haman, let's see what happened. Read.
And when Haman saw that Mordecai bowed not, nor did reverence him, then Haman was full of wrath.
It says he was full of wrath. Y'all know what wrath is? Wrath is like a strong indignation. It says he was full of wrath. I hate him. That's how the white man is. Oh yeah, that's a fact. I had a brother of mine, a dear beloved brother of mine that is making his way into the truth, and he used to work at the border and do border patrol work. He used to do border patrol work, and he said that when he used to work with them white dudes out there, he said them white dudes was ruthless to them 10 tribes, the Latinos over there, ruthless. I mean, beating people up till they purple in the face. Separating the families, like that stuff is real. They got to separate the families, put the kids. That's why he quit. He had to leave. He like, man, I had to leave. I couldn't even do it no more. He said, Key, I had to leave. I quit because I had to quit because I started to get desensitized to it, breaking up families and stuff. That's going on at the border, beating people up till they blue. But one thing he said he'd never do, he never allowed, when he would work with some of these bad people, he said he wouldn't allow them to do it around him. So he would like confront them, and he's smart. He went to college and got a degree. He graduated college with a 3.9. So he's real smart. So when he's speaking to them smart, they'll get intimidated by that, to where now they're like, we can't let, they didn't tell him this, but the way his high and commanding officers act, they're not trying to let him move up in position above them, because now he can challenge the top. So they did certain things to keep him abased. Right? Because one thing the white man knows, do not get an educated black person above you. Because if you do, that's a problem. And so Haman understood this. So when Mordecai didn't bow down, Haman was full of wrath and indignation. Watch this, read.
Verse 6. And he thought scorn to lay hands on Mordecai alone. For they had showed him the people of Mordecai, wherefore Haman sought to destroy all the Jews.
He said, just because Haman, watch this, just because Haman didn't want to bow to him, he said that was give him an excuse to kill all the Jews. So I'm not just going to kill Mordecai, I'm going to kill your whole seed. That's how the hate and indignation. That's why there's no profane person as Esau. That's why Esau has to be destroyed. Because Esau has had this indignation and this hatred against Jacob since the womb. We've been beefing with them since the womb. That's why when you look at, and when people fight tooth and nail to prove the white man is not Esau, and I'm like, he's the main enemy, but they believe they're Israelites, and I'm like, well, who's your main enemy? Because according to the scriptures, Esau, he's the Esau. So who is it? The Arabs? They're not doing nothing to you. Who's the main enemy? Not saying all the nations are our enemies, but who's the main enemies of so-called blacks and Hispanics in America today? The Chinese man? The white man. So now, how do you fit that in and factor that in? If you believe you're an Israelite, how do you factor that in with prophecy with Jacob and Esau being the Arabs? There's no man on the face of the planet that has done so-called blacks, not just blacks, Hispanics, and Native America worst. What other man? You can't make this up. He used to cut pregnant women's stomachs open and play kickball with the babies' heads. He got a term that you can look up and you can see called butt breaking. And then somebody, well, that was years ago. Oh, that was years ago. How many black women going missing in southern states? It's a fact. I ain't gonna put the brother name out. Me talking about this, I just remembered the brother reached out to us. I'm gonna find his email, and if he's watching, I'm gonna reach out to you. A brother just recently emailed me and said, whatever BLW can do, please, I need this story to get out. My wife went missing. And my wife just don't go missing. And when they found her body was like 20 feet from her car. But here's the thing. The last individual that seen his wife alive was a police stop. And they're covering it up because that police officer murdered his wife and they covering it up. That happens every day, and that story does not get told. So all you Uncle Toms, well, that was a long time ago. All your women that's going missing. What about the lynching still happening today? We talk about that? Who has done our people more harm and more wrong than the so-called white man? Biblically and non-biblically. Even if you don't believe in the Bible, who's done black people the worst? So Haman was trying to do the same thing to Mordecai and all the Jews. Watch this, read.
That were throughout all the whole kingdom of Ahasuerus, even the people of Mordecai. In the first month, that is the month Nisan, in the 12th year, king of Ahasuerus, they cast pur. That is Lot before Haman from day to day and from month to month to the 12th month. That is the month of Dar. And Haman said unto King Ahasuerus, there is a certain people scattered abroad and dispersed among the people.
Now look how evil this Edomite is. And isn't this how the Edomites and the white people act today? They do something wrong and then they call the cops and play victim. Can we make this up? This is their personality. This is them. This is what they do. So he went to the king and he made up a fictitious story about Mordecai and his people, his family. Do white people do that today? Walking down the street in the suburbs and you step on a white man's lawn, he come outside, he can call the cops on you, could lose your life for stepping on the lawn. Remember that? It was a long time ago. Remember that one Marine, that white dude with it was like a black dude walking in the neighborhood, and he was kind of slow a little bit, but his family lived not too far from the neighborhood, and the white man was walking around like, "Get out of here, dude! What are you doing here?" His wife recording, because of the she devil, she's the worst. Because she's the antagonized. She'll antagonize everything. The she devil, I call her the she devil. It is what it is. I hope nobody's squirmishing here about that. The she devil didn't kill so many more. I think the she devil didn't kill more black men, are responsible for the deaths of more black men than any other race of women, period. You know how many black men? I mean, most of the riots were started from white women. Emmett Till, Redwood, Tulsa, Oklahoma, with the bombing of Tulsa, Oklahoma, with Black Wall Street. That was because of a white woman. Y'all knew that, right? That's because of a white woman. All of those riots and things and mass murders was because of white women. And watch this. Haman, he's doing the same thing as his forefathers. Watch this, read.
In all the provinces of the kingdom, and their laws diverse from all people. Neither keep they the king's laws.
See, now look how evil Haman is. He went to the king and said, not only did Mordecai, he said, the people are breaking your laws, king. Was they breaking any law? Did Mordecai break the king's laws, or did he just not bow to Haman? He didn't break the king's laws. He just didn't bow to Haman. So Haman was mad. And then he pinned that on everybody. He said, all of them. Isn't that like what white people do today? If one black man does something like with Nat Turner, when they got Nat Turner and they killed Nat Turner, they just didn't kill Nat Turner. They used Nat Turner as an excuse to kill a lot of black people. They use Nat Turner as an excuse to go out and kill everybody. That's what Haman is doing right now. He using Mordecai not bowing to him as an excuse to eradicate the nation of Israel off the face of the planet. Now, if that's not hate, I don't know what is. And the cold thing about it is we can still see that hate reciprocated today. Crazy. Watch this, read.
Therefore, it is not for the king's profit to suffer them. If it please the king, let it be written that they may be destroyed. And I will pay 10,000 talents of silver to the hands of those that have the charge of the business to bring it into the king's treasuries.
He said, let's please kill them. Let's please kill them. And what happened, read?
And the king took his ring from off his hand and gave it into Haman, the son of Ammedatha, the Agagite, and the Jews' enemies.
The Jews' enemies, right? So when you look at Luke chapter 1 for our good Christian brothers and sisters that say we gotta forgive and forget. Well, what is salvation then? According to Luke chapter 1. Salvation, according to Luke chapter 1, is that we will be delivered from what? Our enemies. Well, who's our chief enemy? Esau. So how are we gonna have peace before we deliver? What is deliverance? See, Christianity wants you to think deliverance is being delivered from a devil with a pitchfork and two horns. That's not deliverance. Deliverance is being delivered from physical enemies. And all of our holy days, check this out. All of the holy days that we keep is dealing with what? Deliverance. Passover, deliverance. Who are they delivered from? Okay. Watch this. Let's talk about Purim. Who will we deliver from? Edomites. Nicanor. Who will we deliver from? Greece. You understand? Dedication. We were delivered and our temple was rededicated. So all of our holy days and our celebrations is for us about deliverance. America do that too. What is Independence Day? America got their independence from Great Britain, right? Right? Their deliverance. They celebrate their deliverance. Why we can't celebrate our deliverance? According to the scriptures. And that's what we're doing today. So he said, look, we got to take these people out. We got to kill every single one of them. And the king Let's go to chapter 4.
Book of Esther, chapter 4 and verse 1.
Uh-huh.
When Mordecai perceived all that was done, Mordecai rent his clothes and put sackcloth with ashes and went out into the midst of the city and cried with a loud and bitter cry.
Uh-huh. So when Mordecai heard what was happening, he was sad about that, right? Because now he's hearing that his people was about to get destroyed, read.
And came even before the king's gate,
Uh-huh.
for none might enter to the king's gate clothed in sackcloth.
Now, this is the beauty. This is the beauty of Mordecai and Esther, because why was Mordecai so smart? Mordecai was so smart because he knew I put my niece in the position of a queen. So now I can devise a plan to circumvent them trying to kill our entire nation. So what do we read?
And in every province whithersoever the king's commandment and his decree came, there was great mourning among the Jews, and fasting and weeping and wailing, and many lay in sackcloth and ashes.
Read.
So Esther's maids and her chamberlains came and told it her that then was the queen exceedingly grieved,
Uh-huh.
and she sent raiment to clothe Mordecai and took away the sackcloth from him, but he received it not.
Uh-huh. So when she heard what was happening, she also was sad, right? Read.
Then called Esther for Hatash, one of the king's chamberlains, whom he had appointed to attend upon her, and gave him commandment to Mordecai to know what it was and why it was.
So now Esther is like, I got to figure out what's going on. I have to figure out why this decree has been put to my people. Why are we getting put in a position to be destroyed? So now read verse 7.
Verse 7. And Mordecai told him of all that happened unto him, and of the sum of the money of Haman had promised to pay the king's treasury for the Jews to destroy them.
Mm-hmm.
Also, he gave him the copy of the writing of decree that was given at Shushan to destroy them, to show it unto Esther, and to declare it unto her, and to charge her that she would go unto the king to make supplication to him, and to make request before him for her people.
So now Mordecai's like, Esther, you need to go talk to the king. You need to go fix this, right? But remember, can you go to the king without being summoned? So now Esther is risking her life. What we're going to see what's going to happen. Esther is risking her life for the love. This is the beauty of this story with this woman. This is a woman that sisters should look up to. She has to risk her life not knowing if the king's going to be mad. Because does the king like when you disrespect his commandment? You seen what he did to Vashti. Y'all seen what he did to Vashti, right? So now, is it a commandment that you can't come to him unless he calls? So if she breaks his commandment, and you know, one thing I got to give my hats off to the king, he ain't no simp. King ain't no simp. You break his rule, you out. So she's risking her life. She's risking this. Watch this, read.
Verse 9.
Uh-huh.
And Hatash came and told Esther the words of Mordecai.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Esther spake unto Hatash and gave him commandment unto Mordecai.
Uh-huh.
All the king's servants and all the people of the king's provinces do know that whosoever, whether man or woman, shall come into the king into the inner court, who is not called, there is one law to put him to death.
You see that? Whoever does not come, or whoever comes into the court of the king and is not called, the law is to do what? Put whoever that person is to death. So Esther like, I'm sorry, Uncle Mordecai, y'all own. I'm cool. I mean, it ain't me. Did she do that? What was Esther's spirit? She was about her people. See that? She was about her people. She put her life on the line. That's a beautiful woman right there. She was on a mission, yeah. And guess what? She was obedient at every step of the way, because did she listen to her uncle? Was she disobedient to her uncle? Did she say anything you could do, I could do better? Did she say I'm independent? Did she say I'm a strong black woman? Let me tell y'all, sister, something. We don't like strong black women, because strong black women are headstrong. We like humble, virtuous women of the Most High. That's what we like. And that's what the Most High likes. And the Most High, could the Most High use Shanae to deliver the people? Nah, Shanae gonna get everybody killed. Because she gonna cuss out the king. She gonna cuss out her uncle. And you know what? The king gonna be like, Hey, Haman, is that you killed him? I'm using that for shock value. If this story, could the Most High use a modern woman today with the mindset our sisters have to deliver Israel? Hell no. Everybody dead. But it's funny because half of these women are Christians. Ask a Christian woman that's headstrong, you know, these prophetess and bishopettes and what's the other one? Deaconettes and all of that, right? They headstrong. They headstrong. They ain't of the Most High. Most High likes virtuous women, humble women. Sisters, one of the greatest things that you guys have is your ability to have control over men. But the way you do it is not by boxing with men. The way you do it is by your softness. Men are suckers for that. I'm being honest. I'm gonna tell y'all something. And I ain't gonna jump the gun. We're gonna read the story and then I'm gonna ask the sisters a question. Keep reading. Watch this. Read.
Except such to whom the king shall hold out the golden scepter,
Read.
that he may live. But I have not been called to come unto the king these 30 days.
Read.
And they told Mordecai Esther's words. Then Mordecai commanded to answer Esther, think not with thyself that thou shalt escape the king's house more than all the Jews.
So when she told Mordecai, like, I don't think I could go in front of the king, Mordecai was like, hey, look, homie, look, niece. Don't think that just because you married to the king, and you the queen, that when all the Jews is killed, the Most High ain't gonna have you killed either. So more than anything, who did Esther fear? The Most High. That's a beautiful sister right there. She feared the Most High. Watch this. Read.
For if thou altogether holdest thy peace at this time, then shall their enlargement and deliverance arise to the Jews from another place. But thou and thy father's house shall be destroyed.
You know what? It's cold what Mordecai said, because Mordecai said, don't think that you're going to escape, because the Most High is still going to deliver Israel, and then you're going to just be killed because you didn't listen to the commandment. So Esther agreed. She asked all the nation to fast and to pray for her. And let's see what she did. Go to chapter 5 and read verse 1.
Chapter 5 and verse 1. Now it came to pass on the third day that Esther put on her royal apparel and stood in the inner court of the king's house.
Now, let me ask you this question. When Esther went to the king, did she go to the king and did she say, hey, king, you better not let him kill my people? She do that? What did she do? She didn't even acknowledge him. It just says she stood in the court. That's all she did. Because one thing that Esther is she was smart. So she knew her man. She knew if she put that nice little clothing on that he liked and she stand in that corner, he gonna call her. She knew that. She was smart. Sisters, y'all know y'all husbands too, the same way. But sometimes, sisters, I ain't gonna lie, sometimes y'all pride override. You be like, I know I could do X, Y, and Z, and he'll do X, Y, and Z, but I shouldn't have to do that. So he gonna just listen to me. We need to talk. Brothers, let me ask y'all a question. If your wife came to you and was like, we need to talk, are y'all gonna want to talk? No. No brother in here is gonna want to talk. If your wife came up to you was like, we need to talk like right now, and you was like, okay, cool, we're gonna talk. Just let me finish. No. Right now we need to talk. How y'all gonna feel, brothers? Y'all gonna want to talk? Some of y'all, what y'all gonna do? Yes, babe. Yes, ma'am. Nah, real man gonna be like, wait, first of all, who you talking to? That's what every man gonna say. Every man that's not a poodle is gonna say that. Hey, wait, first of all, who you talking to? You know, watch your. What is a man's favorite line? Watch your tone. I'm gonna tell y'all, men are creatures of tone, right? That and you know the funny thing about it is, men understand this between men. I'm never gonna go to Amawan and talk disrespectful if I need something of him, because men have that mutual respect for each other. Why? Because we box. You understand? So if I need a favor from my kazaa, I'm not gonna be like, hey bro, get over here, man. I'm talking to you. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna be like, hey, can I holler at you for a second? Because men had that mutual respect for each other. Because we know only one thing can happen if we come like that. What can happen? But it's going to be a fight. So women don't have that understanding. I'm going to tell y'all why. Because they women and you can't hit me. And if you do hit me, you a punk. If you don't hit me, you a punk. So you stuck. So the women win. So that's why you see these 5'2" women cussing out a dude that's 6'11". Like, how the hell? You stupid. You know, the woman's favorite word is MFer. You stupid motherfucker. Cussing them out and all that. And you wonder why. That's because women have the understanding that men can't call off and hit women. But men understand Shaquat can slap the shit out of me. So that's why we know men know how to talk to each other, correct? We know how to talk to each other. Now, sisters, the reason why that's important to understand is because a man might not hit you, but a real man is going to shut down on you when you come at him like that. And we're going to learn this from this story. You learn this by Vashti and you learn this from Esther. We're going to see. When you come at your husband and he doesn't do what you want him to do, is because he shut down on you. But you know what? Guess what, brothers? Now let me ask y'all this question. If your woman came to you and cooked your favorite meal, ran you some bath water, and then massaged your temples like this, and she said, babe, can we talk? What y'all gonna say? Yeah, what y'all want to talk about? What's going on? What's happening? Now you got his full attention. What's up? What's good? You good? Take notes from Esther. Don't fall victim to Esau's programming of you're equal to a man. Don't fall victim to that. Look at the realness of the scriptures. So what did Esther do? Let's see if Esther understood what I'm saying. So she did what, Reed?
And stood in the inner court of the king's house, over against the king's house. And the king sat upon his royal throne in the royal house, over against the gate of the house.
Reed.
And it was so. And when the king saw Esther the queen standing in the court, that she obtained favor in his sight.
You see that? So he seen her. She knew exactly what to do. She put the favorite outfit he liked that she wears. She put it on. She smelled good. She did her hair nice. And she knew. She said, the king can't resist this. So I'm gonna go stand over there. He'll call me. And guess what the king did? Hey, is that Esther? Hey man, tell her to come here. Watch this, read.
And the king held out to Esther the golden scepter that was in his hand.
Now watch this. So the king, when he seen Esther, because that's when he put the scepter out, that means he's allowing you to come. So he put the scepter out to Esther, right? And watch this, read.
So Esther drew near and touched the top of the scepter.
Now what did she do? She drew near and touched the top of the scepter. What was she doing? She was flirting with him. She drew near, she came, she was touching the scepter. She's flirting. Because don't we like when women flirt with us, brothers? We love it. We love when women flirt. And she knew, I got to soften him up. So she, not only did she look pretty, but she was flirting with the king. So the king about to be like, what do she need? Whatever. And we're going to see. Watch what the king said. Read.
Then said the king unto her, what wilt thou, Queen Esther?
He said, what you want? She didn't even ask for nothing. She didn't even say nothing. It didn't even say she said nothing. She just walked to him and touched the scepter. And he like, hey, what do you want? Watch this. Read.
And what is thy request? It shall be even given to thee to the half of the kingdom.
That's how you game your husband. Yeah, you gotta game your husband. Listen, in marriage, I'm gonna tell y'all this. In marriage, the game don't stop. Brothers, you gotta date your wife. You gotta date your wife. Keep it interesting. Take on them dates. Do all of that. You gotta date your wife. And sisters, you gotta stay flirty with your man. You can't just get married to your man and now all that went out the window. You digging in your nose, flicking boogers and all type of stuff, ain't really doing nothing. Man gonna be like, what the hell is going on? You know what I'm saying? You still gotta look nice. You waking up in the morning, ain't brushed your teeth. You know what you did to get the man? Keep doing that. And you know what you did, brothers, to get the woman. Keep doing that. That's how you get your relationship fixed. Because guess what, brothers? y'all know when a woman really like you, and the sisters can agree with this. When a woman really like you in the beginning, how is she? Oh, she feminine, she soft, she do whatever in the beginning. Y'all know how it is, sisters. And y'all, when y'all first like a man, naturally you just submit to him. Naturally, you want to talk to him all day. You can't wait till he texts you back. You like, why he didn't call me? You into him. You just real into him. Whatever he need. You get 10 years in a relationship, the back massages stop. The honeymoon stage, I call it. That's when they giving back massages. They saying what you want. That's what the sisters are doing. I mean, that's from in my case, that's how it is with all the women that I dated in my past. They always was submissive like that. But then when you get like 8 months in the relationship, that's when the boogeyman come out. I ain't gonna lie. Some boogeyman come out. But brothers, same with you. You got to still date your wife, brothers. You can't look, brothers, you got to reward your wife. When your wife is doing good to you like the king, you got to reward her. Hey, man, you've been doing excellent, man. What you need, man? What's up? You want to get your nails done or something? Don't deprive your woman of that. We got some Hebrew brothers that be treating a woman like a damn like heathen woman. No, don't treat her like a heathen woman. If your woman is holding you down at home and doing everything she needs to do, she's serving the Lord, she's doing the works of the Lord, she cooking for you, she taking care of the kids. It's only right, brothers, for you to love that woman and you reward that woman like the king is doing. He like, look, what you want? You want to go to the movies or something? You want to go out to eat? What you want to do? What is it? You want a purse? You want nice things? It's okay for women to like nice things. Brothers, don't have that cancerous mind. We in captivity. You can't add none of that. No, that is stupid. I'm just being honest. You gotta go get. You don't need. Can I be real with y'all? Can I be real with y'all? And I'm saying this only if you wisely, of course. But it's okay to have a Gucci bag and a Louis bag. That's okay. Did Esther have it? Hell yeah. And was they in captivity? Yeah. It's okay to have nice things. It's okay. If you can have that, it's okay. You don't have to. Look, I don't know why Israelites think this. You do not have to be a bum in the truth. Brothers, get a line up, get your hair cut, look nice. Get some cologne, look nice, brothers. I don't know why brothers be, it's okay if you're gonna have your beard long, make sure it's nice. You got soup and goop in your beard. Your garment is like down here and toe up and nasty, ugly looking. Well, brothers, be representative of Christ. You understand? That's what it was. You think Mordecai was he in captivity at this time? Yes, but Mordecai had to look nice in the king's presence. Remember, the king said whenever you was in his presence, you have to dress nice and things like that. So guess what? It's okay to do nice things for your woman, brothers. It's okay to do that. Okay, and sisters, it's okay to submit to your husband. Watch this. Read
verse 4. And Esther answered, if it seemed good unto the king, let the king and Haman come this day into the banquet that I have prepared for him.
So now she's like, look, if it seems good to the king, look at the way she's talking. She's still, even though the king's asking her what she wants, she's still fun, fit, and friendly. She's showing the 3 F's. This is the 3 F's right here. This is the Kevin Samuel right here. She fun. How's she fun? When she walked to the king, she touched the scepter. She's fun. Guess what? She's fit, because when the king seen her, he was like, hey, man, she looking good right now. Bring her to me. She wasn't just sloppy and all of that. Nah, get yourself together. Brothers and sisters, get your health together. Do some workout. Don't just let yourself go. Why do people do that when they get married? They just let themselves go. Don't do that. Look, stay fit. Stay fun. Brothers, work out. Do the same thing. Promote a healthy lifestyle among each other. And guess what? She was friendly. She was so friendly in her conversation. The king asked her what she wants, and she asked the king, if it seems good to you, king. So she's still giving the power right back to him. Y'all see how she talked? She still did that. Y'all can learn something from Esther. She said, and what did she say? She said, I want a banquet with you, me, and Haman. Read.
Verse 5. Then the king said, cause Haman to make haste, that he may do as Esther has said.
Now, this is the cold part. Sisters, this is where you get your power from, right? Look, sisters, you don't get your power that the Most High can give you, because women do have power. We see that all throughout the scriptures. Esther's showing it right now. Judith showed it. You understand? We got beautiful, powerful sisters that showed their power. But sisters, your power is not boxing with the man. Your power is being having humility to be able to influence your man in a righteous way. So she's about to do that. She has so much power and influence. Who had to bow down to her? Haman. He like, hey, Haman. Haman was the top dude. Just so y'all can understand. The king took his ring off and gave it to Haman. But who he still had to bow to? Esther. He said, Haman, whatever Esther tell you to do, do it. Watch this. Read verse 9.
Verse 9. Then went Haman forth that day joyful with a glad heart.
You see that? Haman was happy because he thought the banquet was going to be a nice thing. He was like, the banquet, man, that's how Esau is. He said, I'm rejoicing. I'm happy. I'm proud. Esau is a proud man. I'm going to ask y'all this. Who's more prouder as a race of people than a Caucasian man? Who's more prouder? He looked down on every race of people. Oh man, I'm telling you, I work with them. I've seen they look down on every race of people. Talk down on you, treat you like nothing. Go to them construction sites. I do construction. Treat the 10 tribes like nothing. Treat them like nothing. Cuss you. Look, on them jobs, cuss you out in a heartbeat. Them construction jobs, cuss you out in a heartbeat. They'll cuss you out. And if you say something back, guess what? You lose your job. I never forget when my first meeting I had with my job I do, and I'm in management. I'm sitting in there, and this big old tall, because sometimes we think Esau is always a puny, skinny little weakling. No, this dude Irish, big, buff, walk in. He had his little Irish accent, sat down, and cussed those 10 tribe managers out. Cussed them completely out. And guess what? They all was on hush. And I was sitting there like, this is crazy. A grown man cussing me out and you can't say nothing. He didn't cuss me out, but them, because they was messing up. They was messing up, but still, the point is, he don't give a damn. In his business world and his corporations, if you don't do what he say do, you're done. And it doesn't matter. He'll treat you like, in basketball and in football, right? Play sports. Oh, yeah. Because I know. Use the mic real quick. I'm sorry.
No, I was saying they be, little dudes,
Yeah.
going in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like you said, not a word being said back.
Quiet, everybody on hush, huh?
Yeah, man. So like when you get in that realm, it's easy. You recognize right away who running things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because obviously they got the money and it's their business, and that corporation ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
Not until we know what time it is. So I mean, that's the beauty of it. That's what I kind of focusing on. Like, man, I can't wait to see this thing destroyed.
Yeah, fact. Hey, look, I had a friend of mine that played football, and he said his coach used to bring his kids to the practices and all that. And he said, kid you not, this is what his coach not his coach, but the owner said. It was the owner. The owner used to bring his kids or whatever. And he said the owner told him, he said, hey Shepherd, that was his last name. He said, hey Shepherd, one day you'll be working for my son. And black people died again. I made it. I'm in the NFL. I made it to be a slave. And white NFL players get treated different than black NFL players. Look at Tom Brady. Didn't he? Who was it? Was it Tom Brady that robbed everybody? Robbed Brett Favre. What did they do to Brett Favre? That's exactly what I was about to say. They destroyed Michael Vick. What they do to Brett Favre? Nothing. Do y'all, huh? Look at get the mic so they can hear you online. Hold on.
Salaki, I think he's suing someone for speaking up upon his situation.
So he's suing some. Ain't
Yeah.
that something?
Yeah.
Wow.
And another thing, you remember the brother, his last name was Rice. He got into a physical altercation with his female in the elevator, I think. They crucified him.
Crucified.
But it was an Edomite.
Oh, that knocked the black girl
that
out
was dating the sister.
and
He
knocked her out. I seen
beat the
that.
dog crap out of her, and they swept that right under the
Right
rug.
under the rug. Yep, I remember that.
I don't even know his name.
I don't know his name either.
I gotta really look it
I
up. to
forgot
find
about it.
They swept it under the rug. I don't even think he got suspended. They just stopped talking about it, and life went on.
Yep. That's how this man is. He's a devil. It is what it is. Hey, look, and y'all can't be scared to call it how it is, because who do we fear? The Most High. And let the Most High will be done. But we got to call a spade a spade. This man is evil. And he's so evil that he can steal, rob, and rape and not hold you to the same standards and judgment if you do it. He still treats his people. Michael Vick was fighting dogs. He wasn't even there. But let's just keep it a buck. Okay. And for those animal cruelty, but it's a dog. It's right. Y'all didn't. I think what animal was extinct? I think the polar bears or something like that. Huh? They're going extinct, but one of the animals. Oh, the rhinos. The rhinos. I think there's no more rhinos in the wild. Right. Yeah, the white ones. There we go. Thank you. But that's fine. But he fighting a dog.
The albino giraffe, the lady killed the last one, I think.
Wow.
And then nothing happened to her.
No, that's what they do. They kill the animals and then put their heads up like trophies. But Michael Vick wasn't even there, and they fighting dogs. Oh yeah, but you know the funny thing about it is though, I don't think it's nothing more than a white man love than his dog. A dog is a human life. If you kill a police canine, you going to jail for manslaughter, life. You're killing a dog. If you kick a police dog, you just assaulted an officer. It's crazy, huh? But yeah, let's go from there. Watch this. So he walking around, he happy, right? He think this banquet is gonna be a good thing for him, right? Read, watch this, read.
But when Haman saw Mordecai in the king's gate, that he stood
What
not.
verse you at?
Verse 9.
Yeah, read.
But when Haman saw Mordecai in the king's gate, that he stood not up, nor moved for him, he was full of indignation against Mordecai.
See, Mordecai is cold. Even though he just did the decree, he just said, I'm gonna have all your people killed, and I'm gonna have you killed too, Mordecai. When he seen Mordecai again, he thought Mordecai was gonna bow. Mordecai still stood up and looked at him. Ain't nothing worse to the white man than a rebellious nigga. White man hates rebellious niggas. I'm saying that purposely. He didn't kill every single rebellious leader we didn't have. He didn't kill every single one. He hates rebellious niggas. He hates that. It's nothing worse to him than a rebellious black person. I'm even say it like this. Because this is dealing with the Jews. This is the Southern Kingdom. I'm even say it like this. He'll even put up a little bit more with 10 tribes. But when it's an actual Southern Kingdom that's there, he hates it more than anything. He hates it. He hates it because you know why? He knows that the Southern Kingdom can influence the rest of the nation. So when you see Mordecai standing up like this, everybody's going to be like, well, dang, Mordecai don't got to bow. I don't got to bow either. And then Haman loses his power. So when Haman seen this, what did Haman say? Read.
Verse 10. Nevertheless, Haman refrained himself. And when he came home, he sent and called for his friends and Zerah, his wife.
And his wife. Uh-oh. There go the she-devil. I'm going to show y'all the she-devil is just as worse, just as bad as her husband. Read.
And Haman told them of the glory of his riches and the multitude of his children, and all the things wherein the king had promoted him, and how he had advanced him above the princes and the servants of the king. Haman said, moreover, Yet Esther the queen did let no man come with him, so like with the king into the banquet that she prepared, but myself. And tomorrow I am invited unto her also with the king.
You see that? So he was, it's nothing better than Esau likes. Esau is going to show you his accomplishments. He gonna make sure the world know. When the white man accomplished something and conquered something, he lets the world know. Everybody gonna know how special he is. Everybody's gonna know how special he is. And that's how Haman was. So he went to his family. He bragging to his family, bragging to his wife and his friends. Watch this, read.
Yet all this availeth me nothing, so as long as I see Mordecai the Jew sitting at the king's gate.
He like, but I don't even care about all the accomplishments, because every time I see Mordecai, man, I hate Mordecai. I can't, you know how Esau is. I can't even be happy because of Mordecai. Ain't that how Esau is? He's robbing me of my happiness because he won't bow to me. White man is like a big baby. He pout all the time. When a white man don't get his way, he pout all the time. It's always a problem. When black people don't get their way, we just say, well, that's just how life is. When a white man don't get his way, he killing himself. He jumping off of buildings. The white man can't take rejection. You piss the white man off, he liable to shoot up the whole grocery store. Killing the kids, killing the wife, going. How these mass murder shootings start? Because a little white boy was bullied. And black people bullied all day, every day. Go to Horseman Middle School. You gonna get bullied, and then you gonna get beat up. Did we get the gun and mass murder the whole school? No. But if you bully Esau, he'll kill you. He'll kill his parents. Mom took my game, so I killed her in her sleep. Am I lying? Go ahead. Sister wanted to say something.
Just quick. I don't know if anybody read the news. It was a news article or something. Some black elementary kids got charged for, I don't know what it's for, assault or something. Elementary kids took some white kids, grabbed them, and started beating them up and telling them to say Black Lives Matter.
Wow. And they got charged with that?
They got charged with assault.
You know how many, okay, but did y'all hear about the black friend that went to the sleepover with the white friends and got killed? Came up dead? Yeah. Black woman found up dead. But you know the cold thing about it is, and this is how cold Esau has manipulated our people so much. Amber Rose in her slut crew, they say it's nothing more dangerous than a black man in America. Meanwhile, the white man is hanging you, killing you. All right, doing provocative stuff to our woman. It was one of our sisters in adult films, and she lost her life. I think Mosh told me she lost her life. She agreed to do enactment of slavery or something like that. I think Mosh know more about it. And they put a rope around her neck, and they strung her up, and they choked her with the noose until she died. Oh, they what, Mosh? They pissed on her too. But there's nothing more dangerous than a black man, according to Amber Rose's slut walk people. Huh? Yeah, but she's influencing all of our women. Most High, look. But watch this though. So Haman is mad, upset. Read. We almost done. Read.
Verse 14. Then says Zeresh, his wife.
What did the she-devil say? Read.
And all his friends unto him.
Uh-huh.
Let a gallows be made of 50 cubits high.
He said, let the gallows be made. Y'all know what a gallows is, right? That's where you set up the poles and stuff so you can hang. His wife was like, you know what you should do? Make some gallows and hang not only him, but his whole family. Watch this, read.
And tomorrow speak thou unto the king, that Mordecai may be hanged thereon. Then go thou in merrily with the king unto the banquet, and the thing pleased Haman, and he caused the gallows to be made.
See that? That was the she-devil's idea. Ain't she evil? She cold, boy. Shoot, you know how many men have died to the hands of the white woman? Hundreds of thousands have died. Y'all ever seen 12 Years a Slave? Y'all seen how she tormented the black woman? Scratched up her face because the white man want to sleep with our women. She scratched up her face, beat her up, and put her through torment. Yeah. You think God is going to let that go? What kind of God? What? That's not even just. Well, that was our forefathers. That wasn't us, but you profit off of that treatment that was done to us. Okay, that wasn't your forefathers. Give us all of the money then. Give us all that. You sorry? You sad? I don't know. I don't want to. I'll give you a job. I don't want a job. I want the business. Matter of fact, black people and Native American people and Hispanic people, but more specifically for this one, black people, we should be able to go to the hospital and get surgeries and all that for free because of all of their look up the medical apartheid, where they literally the tools that they use for surgery in today's time was used to was created by experimentations on black slaves. So we should be able to go to the doctor and not pay. No, we're not talking about what is it when you on a county? What is it when you get medical? No, we're not talking about getting medical and all that. Medicare. No, F Medicare. I'm talking about just if you black, you walk in there and you good. Matter of fact, all of your white and Asian patients, push them to the back and bring us front. We got to take care of this black person first. Sorry, y'all. I mean, because if it wasn't for them, there would be no this anyway. So their ancestors died for us to practice medicine. So, we should let them go first. Do they do that? You know what's so funny? The next time I'm on the street and I'm street teaching and a white man tell me he's sorry, you know what I'm going to do, brothers? I'm not going to make him bow down. Because, brothers making brothers bow down, kiss their boot. I'm not going to make him do that. I'm going to tell him, can you empty your bank account? I'll give you my Cash App. Can you Cash App me all your money in your account right now? You sorry? Cash App me all that money. Give me your company. That's what I want. Black people and Latino people in America should not have to pay for houses or taxes. Just give us everything. That's how you repay. If you don't, guess what? You still got blood money. So all that blood money, the mafia know that. You still got the blood money. The debt, the mafia know that. Don't the mafia know that? They'll repay the debt on the father's children. It's the same thing. If you're really sorry, saying sorry is not enough. Right? That's what true justice is. Replacing that what you stole. Let me ask y'all this, and then we're gonna continue in the story. We almost done. We almost out of here. But I gotta say this, right? If I rob you, right? Let's say I rob you of your watch. And I pass your watch down to my son. You got a son? You got kids? You got You got a daughter. Okay. And then your daughter, right? She meet my son with your watch on. And my son says, I'm so sorry that my dad stole your dad's watch. But he got the watch on. Can you forgive me? Can you give me back my watch? No, nigga, I said, I'm sorry. Hey, y'all want everything. Black people just never can be happy. I just said sorry. And then what make it worse is the Uncle Tom's like, yeah, you said sorry. Like, what's wrong with him? That's literally that's today. That's our people. That's us. That's what we do. That's what we do all day. That's what we do. We crazy for being mad because your daughter is crazy for being mad because your watch got stole, and then My son is still wearing a watch, and she crazy. Ain't that something? That's crazy, man. Watch this. Keep reading. Read verse chapter 6, verse 1.
Chapter 6 and verse 1. On that night could not the king sleep, and he commanded to bring the book of records of the book of record of Chronicles, and they were read before the king.
Okay, let's get to the point. Read verse 3.
Verse 3. And the king said, what honor and dignity hath been done to Mordecai for this? Then said the king's servants that he ministered unto him, there is nothing done for him.
So basically, Mordecai, just so we can get the story, get more into the story, Mordecai basically saved the king's life. It was two individuals that wanted to kill the king. Mordecai, with nobody watching, with nobody there, he stopped them from committing the murder that they were trying to do against the king, and the king didn't know. So the king like, why wasn't I made aware of this? What happened? And what gift was given to Mordecai for that? Mind you, the king doesn't know Mordecai and is Esther and Esther are related. He don't know that. So he's just like, this Mordecai did this noble act. What good deed was done to him and given to him? Read. Watch this. Read.
And the king said, who is in the court? Now Haman was come into the outward court of the king's house to speak unto the king and to hang Mordecai on the gallows that he had prepared for him.
So when Haman was coming to kill Mordecai, he not knowing that something good just happened to Mordecai. Read.
And the king's servant said unto him, behold, Haman standeth in the court. And the king said, let him come in. So Haman came in, and the king said unto him, what shall be done unto the man whom the king delighted to honor? Now Haman thought in his heart, to whom the king would delight to do honor more than myself. And Haman answered the king, for the man whom the king delighted to honor.
So now Haman is so prideful, he thinking the king must be talking about me. Oh, I know that the king playing with me. He asking what should he do to this good man that needs honor, and he just want me to say, so this is the king's playful way to give me what I want. Okay, cool. I'm gonna tell the king what I want. Read.
Let the royal apparel be brought, which the king useth to wear.
He said, let the royal apparel be brought what the king wears. So the king's clothes. This is how Haman thinking, because Haman thinking this gonna happen to him. Read.
And the horse that the king rideth upon, and the crown royal which is set upon his head, and let his apparel and horse be delivered into the hand of one of the king's most noble princes, and they may array a man withal whom the king delighted to honor, and bring him on horseback through the street of the city, and proclaim before him, thus shall it be done unto the man to whom the king delighted to honor.
He like, man, put the king's robe on him, put him on a horse, and ride him in the city celebrating him. Haman like, yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's what's gonna happen to me, because the king gotta be talking about me. Watch this. Read.
It's like verse 10. Then the king said to Haman, make haste.
He said, make haste, Haman. Read.
And take the apparel and the horse, as thou hast said, and do even so to Mordecai the Jew.
And do it to Mordecai. How y'all think Haman felt? I was just about to kill him. Now I gotta honor him. Hot. White man was mad. So now let's get to the point, man. Mordecai had to behave himself wisely, which he did. He was a wise man. And remember, Esther still had this banquet that had to be prepared. So let's go to chapter 7 and let's read verse 1.
Chapter 7 and verse 1. So the king and Haman came to the banquet with Esther the queen, and the king said again to Esther, on the second day at the banquet of wine, what is thy petition, Queen Esther? And it shall be granted thee. And what is thy request? And it shall be performed even to the half of the kingdom. And Esther the queen answered and said, if I have found favor in thy sight, O king, and if it please thee, O king, let my life be given at the at my petition, and my people at my request. For we are sold, and I am a people to be destroyed, to be slain.
So she's telling the king, like, my people is basically about to be destroyed, right? All right, my people's about to be destroyed. My people's about to be killed. And instead of my people being killed, take my life. That's how down Esther was for her people. She said, take my life, king. Take my life. And what happened? Read.
And to perish. But if we have been sold for bondmen and bondwomen, I held my tongue, although the enemy could not contravail the king's damage. Then the king Ahasuerus answered and said unto Esther the queen,
Mhm.
Who is he and where is he that durst perform in his heart to do so?
He said, wait, who is this that's trying to kill your people? He hot because, brothers, who gonna defend your wife more than you? Oh, you hot, especially when you love her. Like who said that they was gonna do what to your people? Who said that? Watch this, read.
And Esther said, The adversary and enemy is the wicked Haman.
She said Haman did. Now, mind you, Haman got good power, but she said Haman did this. Watch what the king said. Read.
Then Haman was afraid before the king and the queen, and the king, arising from the banquet of wine in his wrath, went into the palace into the palace garden, and Haman stood up to meet requests for his life to Esther the queen, for he saw there was an evil determined against him by the king.
Can you imagine somebody so mad that he don't say nothing? He just get up. You ever seen that when somebody hears some bad news and they don't say nothing, but they just be like, and then they leave? You like, oh, he hot. He hot. So when he seen the king did that, he ran to Esther. What's going on? What happened? What? He begging now for his life. Who had more power? Esther had more power than him because she used her virtue to get that of the Most High. Watch this. Read.
Then the king returned out of the palace garden into the place of the banquet of wine, and Haman was fallen upon the bed whereon Esther was. Then said the king, Will he force the queen also before me in the house? As the word went out of the king's mouth, they covered Haman's face.
You see that? And they took Haman away. And let's see what happened to Haman. Read verse 9.
Verse 9. And Harbona, one of the chamberlains, said before the king, Behold, also the gallows 50 cubits high.
And watch this. See, that she devil gave him wrong counsel. Because now, to add insult to injury, the king just found out you trying to kill my girl's people. And now somebody else come, hey, king, look at the gallows he made. He was going to put Mordecai in those. Now the king like, hey, you trying to kill the person that saved my life? All bad. That's going to be the end of this wicked America when the Most High come back. Clap it up for the destruction of America. I can't wait. It's already in place. America is already falling. It has become the cage of every hateful bird. Marriages are failing. Immorality is at an all-time high. Fornication is at an all-time high. Diseases and sickness is at an all-time high. Your money is losing value. The government don't know what to do. It's about to fall. Don't think that this country gonna last forever. It's not. Matter of fact, if you were smart, do what you got to do, save and buy canned goods, do all of that. That's why we getting with Godal and getting our shit together. Because pretty soon it's gonna be anarchy in the streets. And what we gonna have to do, brothers? I have to gather ourselves together. And is the woman gonna be on the front line? No, the woman not. And you know what's so funny? In that day, watch all the feminists turn feminine. They're gonna be looking for a man to protect them. See, nature have a funny way of reversing the conditions of the wrong way human beings think. Take away the police force, take away men, take away the police force, take away all of that. Guess what the masculine women that say they don't need men gonna be doing? Running, trying to find a man to protect them. It's gonna happen. Watch this. Go ahead, good dog. Yeah. I've been hearing stuff like that. The police, they feel like they not important no more because they can't kill black people and get away with it no more. So they mad. So they like, we ain't come. Yeah, fact. Let's go to y'all ever seen that movie real quick? We about to leave. We got like 2 more verses I want to read, then we'll get out of here. Y'all ever seen that movie World War Z? That zombie movie? Remember that one scene where they was in a store and then the cop was running. And then the I think it was the wife. She was like, "Excuse me, we need help," and he ran right by her. That's how it's gonna be in these streets. Cops ain't gonna police cars. What? You're gonna need a man to protect you, right? Watch this. So let's go from there. So he said, "Look at what he did now. He also made these gallows. Read,
which Haman made for Mordecai, who had spoken good for the king, standeth in the house of Haman. Then the king said, Hang him thereon. So they hang Haman on the gallows that he had prepared for Mordecai, Then was the king's wrath pacified.
You see that? And they killed his and his whole family. Killed him. Destroyed his whole family. Killed him. Hung his family and all of that. Right? Read. Let's skip there. Let's go to chapter 8 and read verse 1.
Chapter 8 and verse 1. On that day did King Ahasuerus give the house of Haman, the Jews' enemy, unto Esther the queen. And Mordecai came before the king, for Esther had told what he was unto her. And the king took off his ring, which he had taken from Haman, and gave it unto Mordecai. And Esther sat Mordecai over the house of Haman. And Esther spake yet again before the king and fell down at his feet and besought him with tears.
Look at that. She's still submissive. She fell down and bowed at his feet. Right, Reed?
To put away the mischief of Haman the Agagite and his device that he had devised against the Jews. Then the king held
so basically, can we reverse the conditions? Because remember, Haman put a decree out to kill all of the Jews. So now they reversed it. Haman, the king reversed it. And they were able. Well, he couldn't really reverse it because it was the decree was already put out there. So what happened was he said, "We're gonna help you and your people fight. So whoever comes against your people, you can go ahead and kill them and fight them and destroy them. And I'm gonna make sure that we help you because the decree, it's not like it's television back then. So when the decree was already out, you people got the decree and it take time to unwrite that decree. So the king was like, look, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make sure your people are protected until we can reverse this situation. And that's what ended up happening. So let's go from there. Let's go to chapter 9. And let's read verse read 19.
Chapter 9 and verse 19. Therefore the Jews of the villages that dwelt in the unwalled towns made the 14th day of the month of Adar a day of gladness and feasting, a good day, and of sending portions one to another. And Mordecai wrote these things and sent letters unto all the Jews that were in all the provinces of King Ahasuerus, both nigh and far, to establish this thing, to establish this among them, that they should keep the 14th day of the month of Adar and the 15th day of the same year.
You see that? So they made this triumph. They made it a great feast. They said on the 14th day and on the 15th day, for what Mordecai and Esther did, protecting us and saving us from our enemies, we're going to make this a day of gladness and a day of feasting. And that's what we do in representation of them being delivered from their enemies, them being delivered from the Caucasian man, from the evil Haman and his family and their enemies. And they said, this is going to be a day that we establish. Read.
As the days wherein the Jews rested from their enemies, and the month which was turned unto them from sorrow to joy, and from mourning into a good day, that they should make them days of feasting and joy, and of sending portions one to another, and gifts to the poor.
You see that? And giving gifts. This is why we give gifts on Purim. We give gifts because they gave gifts of gladness, fed one another. The poor that needed, the needy, they gave to the needy, right? This is what they did. This is why we give gifts on Purim. Purim is a day of gladness. This is why we're going to drink some good wine, right? We're going to play some good music, and we're going to eat, and we're going to feast, and we're going to give our gifts for those that got gifts and things of that nature. If this is your first year and you know you're not really a part or a member of BOW, hopefully if you join us, then we can make it to where you get gifts next year. But we want everybody to have a good time. Give. The kids going to open gifts. That's why we don't need Christmas. We got Purim, a feast of the Most High, where we give gifts and things of that nature. And so this is what was commanded. This is what was commanded to be done, right? Read.
And the Jews undertook to do as they had begun, and as Mordecai had written unto them, because Haman the son of Hammedatha the Agagite, the enemy of all the Jews, had devised against the Jews to destroy them, and had cast Pur, that is Lot, to consume them and to destroy them. But when Esther came before the king, he commanded by letters that his wicked device, which he had devised against the Jews, should return upon his own head.
Right. Read verse 26.
Verse 26. Wherefore they called these days Purim, after the name of Pur. Therefore all the words of this letter and of that which they had seen concerning this matter, and which had come unto them.
All right. So they called it Purim. They called this day Purim. Let's go from there and read verse. We'll end it with this. Read verse 29.
Verse 29.
Uh-huh.
Then Esther the queen, the daughter of Abigail.
Read verse 28.
Verse
Salakia.
28.
Uh-huh.
And after these days shall be remembered and kept throughout every generation, every family, every province, every city, and that these days of Purim shall not fail from among the Jews, nor the memorial of them perish from their seed.
All right. So this is something that we have to do throughout our generations. We have to keep Purim throughout our generations. It is a memorial. It is not a Sabbath. It is a memorial, meaning we memorialize this. We keep this. We remember this. We're going to tell this story to our kids, and our kids' kids are going to tell this story to their kids, and we'll always keep the days of Purim forever throughout our generations. All right. Read.
Then Esther the queen, the daughter of Abigail, and Mordecai the Jew, wrote with all authority to confirm the second letter of Purim. And he sent letters unto all the Jews to the 127 provinces of the kingdom of Ahasuerus with words of peace and truth, to confirm these days of Purim and their time appointed, according as Mordecai the Jew and as Esther the queen had enjoined them, as they had decree for themselves and for their seed, the matters of fasting and their cry. And the decree of Esther confirmed these matters of Purim, and it was written in a book.
So we keep Purim because we were delivered from our enemies and saved, and we memorialize this day. We see the struggle that Esther and Mordecai went through, and the wisdom also that the Most High imparted on Esther and Mordecai, and we remember Esther and Mordecai for that. And we thank the Most High for Esther and Mordecai, and we drink and have a good time tonight and give our gifts in the spirit of Purim. All praise to the Most High. We'll end it right there. All right. With that being said, we're gonna go ahead and end class. We love everybody that was online. We love all our online family. Thank you guys for your alms. Thank you guys for your donations. We love you. We love you for that. The online presence is very, very much appreciated. We love you guys. So you guys have a beautiful Purim. You guys fellowship with your families, eat, drink, commemorate the day that Mordecai and Esther saved our forefathers from being wiped out, and send gifts. Love you guys. And until next time, Shalom, family. All praises. All praises. All